Welcome, everyone. This is the Masterclass. My name is Patricknazareth. I have around 30 years experience in teaching, and I would like to help you dispel your doubts, should you have any. Today, we look at the poem Strange Meeting, written by Wilfred Owen. Wilfred Owen was born on the 18th of March, 1893. He died on the 4th of November, 1918. He is considered one of the leading poets of the First World War, and he wrote firsthand on the horrors of trenches and gas warfare as experienced by him. He died just a week before the war ended. In fact, his mother got a telegram telling her of his death just as the bells in her parish were being rung out loud, celebrating the victory that England had achieved over Germany. He was but 25 years old. It seemed that out of battle I escaped, down some profound, dull tunnel, long since scooped through granite which titanic wars had groined. The poet speaks from the viewpoint of a soldier, and he says it was as if he had suddenly left the battlefield and had gone down a long tunnel. This tunnel was of granite, and it must have been made by wars which had been fought. Yet also there encumbered sleepers groaned, too fast in thought or death to be bestirred. Then, as I probed them, one sprang up and stared, with piteous recognition in fixed eyes, lifting distressful hands as if to bless. And by his smile, I knew that sullen hall. By his dead smile, I knew we stood in hell. So the poet is in this tunnel, and over there inside the tunnel, he sees bodies. They were either sleeping or they were dead because they were unmoving. But as he looked closely, one of them sprang up, and he looked at the poet, recognizing him. He looked at him with sadness, and then he smiled. The poet recognized him. He recognized a dead person, and then he realized that he himself must be dead and they were in hell. With 1,000 fears, that vision's face was grained. Yet no blood reached there from the upper ground, and no guns thumped or down the flues made moan. Strange friend, I said, here is no cause to mourn. None, said that other, save the undone years, the hopelessness. Whatever hope is yours was my life also. I went hunting wild after the wildest beauty in the world, which lies not calm in eyes or braided hair, but mocks the steady running of the hour, and if it grieves, grieves richlier than here. On that man's face that the poet saw, there was fear. There was fear of a lot of things. But he noticed there was no blood anywhere. There was no sound of battle. There was no sound of guns being fired. He asked the person why. Why is there fear on his face? And he said, there is no reason for you to be upset or to be grieving. And the other said, yes, there is. See what both of us have lost. We have both died young. Once upon a time, you looked forward to the experiences that you would have in this world. You looked forward to chasing your dreams, your ambitions. So did I. The man goes on to say that beauty lies in the chase of the ideal, looking for something that transcends this earth maybe. It doesn't lie in things that time can change, like somebody's beautiful eyes or long hair. If sorrows are there, it is better than here. For by my glee might many men have laughed, and of my weeping something had been left, which must die now. I mean the truth untold, the pity of war, the pity war distilled. The man goes on to say, maybe if I hadn't died, sometime when I would have been happy, when I would have been laughing, other people would have joined in my happiness. And even if I had been crying or sad at some point of time, another person may have empathized, may have felt sorrow for me, and maybe would have learned something from the mistake I have made or from the sorrows that I am going through. But now all that is dead. Why? Because of something that is futile, that is of no avail. War. War is useless. War destroys everything it touches. So because of that, all my dreams, all my hopes, my future joys, my future sorrows, all lie finished now. Now men will go content with what we spoiled, or discontent, boil bloody and be spilled. They will be swift with swiftness of the tigress. None will break ranks, though nations trek from progress. Courage was mine, and I had mystery. Wisdom was mine, and I had mastery. To miss the march of this retreating world into vain citadels that are not walled. He says both of us are dead. Perhaps now men will be happy with what we have won in war. Perhaps they won't. If they are not, they will go ahead and fight more wars in the future. They will attack like tigers. Men and soldiers are filled with a nationalistic pride, with pride in the nation. Nobody disregards or disobeys the instructions that are given to them by their commanders. Even though war destroys civilizations, it does not help it to progress. He goes on to list his values. He had courage, he understood the mysteries of the world, he was wise, and he had self-control. But all that is now no longer part of this world. Why? Because of the false goals of war, of the false pride that made men like him, men like us, go to war. He is basically trying to tell us that men fought over something which held no value whatsoever. Then, when much blood had clogged the chariot wheels, I would go up and wash them from sweet wells, even with truths that lie too deep for taint. I would have poured my spirit without stint, but not through wounds, not on the cess of war. Foreheads of men have bled where no wounds were. The man holds out a hope that at the end, when there's so much blood that is spilled, that even the wheels cannot move, cannot spin properly, he would act as a healer. He would go and try and take away the pain. He would have said the truths that would have been maybe hard to speak, but he would have said them without bias, without fear. And he would not have achieved healing with war. He would not have achieved healing with guns. He would have given his entire being, he would have committed his entire being into healing the people who have been wounded by war. He says that even though you do not see any wounds, even though there is no blood being spilled, the worry lines on a man's face, on his forehead, show you how people have been so badly affected, have been psychologically affected by the war. I am the enemy you killed, my friend. I knew you in this dark. For so you frowned yesterday through me as you jabbed and killed. I parried, but my hands were loath and cold. Let us sleep now. The man then reveals his identity. Who is he? He is the enemy, a person whom the poet has killed just some time back. And how did he recognize the poet? Because when the poet was walking down the hall, he noticed a frown on his face. And the poet looked exactly the same when he attacked him and killed him with his bayonet. This man tried to save himself, but he was sick of war and he was cold and he could not do it effectively. And so the poet was able to kill him. He goes on to say, let us sleep now. We are no longer at war, we are at peace. The themes that run through this poem then, the futility of war. What is the point of having a war? It simply destroys everything. What is the psychological impact of war? The people who fight it come away scarred. They come away with hidden wounds because you cannot see beyond their faces. You cannot look into their souls and understand the pain that they have gone through. They have understood that they have a shared humanity with their enemies. Perhaps when they have killed someone, perhaps when they were talking to somebody, they have realized the bitter truth that my enemy and me are the same person. We have the same dreams, we have the same hopes, we have the same ideals. The only difference is we face each other across a battlefield. And in that battlefield, we have to kill or be killed. But what is the point of all that? That's the poem there for you. I do hope I have been able to help. If I have, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. Remember, there might be others who would need our help. Thank you so much for watching.